Son's daughter, peace be with you. I am here close to you just as I was by the roadside with so many who needed to hear, to rest, and to understand. I speak to you not to wound your heart, but to illuminate it. What I am about to say is solemn, yes, but it is also deeply filled with love and truth. There is a day prepared, a real day. It is not a symbol, not a metaphor created to instill fear, nor a distant story meant to control consciences. It is a true encounter. Everyone, without exception, will stand before me. It does not matter whether you were known or forgotten, whether you accumulated titles or merely survived day by day. Your age, your country, your culture, or your religious background do not matter. Every human being created by the Father will stand before me. When I walked among you, I saw how quickly time passes. I saw people spend years chasing what does not satisfy, while postponing what truly matters. Many believe that judgment is something far away, almost unreal, and so they live as if their choices carried no consequences. But I tell you gently, every day you live shapes who you are becoming. Judgment is not a cold courtroom filled with accusations. It is revelation. Everything that was lived in silence, everything hidden behind smiles, positions, or empty religiosity will be brought into the light, not to humiliate, but to reveal the truth. The Father does not err in his judgments. He sees beyond appearances, beyond beautiful words, beyond poorly explained intentions. Perhaps your heart tightens as you hear this. I see your fear. Many today live overwhelmed, anxious, trying to keep up with expectations that never stop. Social media pressures you to look fine, even when inside you are exhausted. The world teaches you to run from death, from responsibility, from eternity. But running does not heal. It only postpones the encounter with truth. I do not announce this day to frighten you. I announce it because I love you. Because knowing that there will be an encounter with me gives meaning to your choices now. Whoever lives mindful of eternity learns to live the present better, learns to ask for forgiveness before pride hardens the heart, learns to love even when it is difficult, learns not to waste time on hatred, envy, or vanity. When I say that all will stand before me, I also say that no one will be forgotten. No tear shed in silence will be ignored. No injustice will go unanswered. No act of love done in anonymity will be too small. The Father is just, and his justice is inseparable from mercy. Son, daughter, look at your life with sincerity, not with guilt, but with truth. How have you lived when no one is watching? What fills your thoughts when the noise of the world grows quiet? What kind of person are you becoming through the small daily choices? These questions are not condemnation. They are invitation. There is something simple you can begin doing today. When you wake up, place your day in the Father's hands and remember that every action carries eternal weight. Before responding with harshness, choose gentleness. Before judging someone, choose compassion. Before giving up on loving, remember how I never gave up on you. I am here. I walk with you now before that day arrives. I do not speak to you as someone distant, but as the one who knows you completely and still loves you. If your heart loves God and desires to live in truth, write in the comments, Amen. Not out of habit, but as a sincere response of your spirit. Do not be afraid. Love is the way. Son, daughter, peace be with you again. I am still here, walking beside you step by step, without haste, because eternal matters should never be treated in a rush. In the previous part, I spoke to you about the day when everyone will stand before me. Now I want to lead you to the question that will be at the center of that encounter. It is not a complicated question, nor one filled with technical details. It is simple, and precisely because of that, profound. When you stand before me, I will not begin by asking about your religion, your denomination, your rituals, or how many times you entered a temple. I will not ask how many rules you knew or how many speeches you could repeat. The first question will be this: what did you do with the Son of God? I know many are confused about this. The world teaches that everything is resolved through effort, performance, and merit. Many live exhausted, trying to be good enough, trying to compensate for mistakes with good works, trying to prove something to God and to others. But I tell you clearly and lovingly, everything begins with your response to me. When I walked among you, I was rejected by some, ignored by others, and welcomed by those who recognized their need. Some called me teacher, others prophet, others a threat. But few understood that I did not come only to teach paths. I am the way. Believing in me is not repeating words. It is trusting. It is resting. It is recognizing that you cannot save yourself on your own. Whoever believes in me does not live under constant condemnation because they find grace. But whoever rejects me, even while living an apparently correct life, remains separated from the source of life. Perhaps you say, "But I believe in God," and I respond to you gently. Believing that God exists is not the same as trusting in the Son He sent. Many speak of God but do not surrender to the love that saves. Many admire my teachings but do not give me their heart. This question is personal. It cannot be answered by your parents, by your church, by your past history, or by your good intentions. It is between me and you. What did you do with me when I presented you with the truth? What did you do with me when I felt your heart tired, wounded, or confused? Did you open the door, or did you choose to keep your distance? I never forced anyone to follow me. I looked them in the eyes, called them by name, and respected each person's decision. I still do the same. True love does not coerce, it invites. Today, many place me in second place. They say they have no time. They fill life with work, goals, entertainment, opinions, and distractions. But when silence comes, emptiness appears. None of these things replace the life that only I can give. There is something you can practice right now, in a simple and sincere way. Speak with me in silence, not with beautiful words, but with honesty. Tell me where it hurts. Tell me where you failed. Tell me if you are afraid to trust. I do not turn away from sincere hearts. Son, daughter, receiving me is not losing freedom, it is finding it. Rejecting me is not independence. It is carrying a weight you were never meant to carry alone. I am here, still today, still now. The door remains open. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I continue with you on this path like someone who walks slowly so the other does not get lost. What I share now is not theory nor distant speech. It is something I saw, heard, and lived while I was among you, and I still see it in hearts today. When people place themselves before me, there are only three possible responses. Many think there are countless paths, countless justifications, countless explanations. But deep down, everything comes down to these three postures of the heart. The first is those who trusted in their own works. They said, "I did good, I helped, I tried to be right, I deserve it." They live comparing themselves to others, seeking to feel better, more righteous, more worthy. Some truly performed good actions. Others simply believed their intentions were enough. But all made the same mistake. They placed their trust in themselves. I never said that good works have no value. On the contrary, true love always produces action. But when works become the foundation of salvation, the heart fills with pride or fear. Pride when it thinks it has done enough. Fear when it realizes it never is enough. Neither path brings peace. The second response is those who had religion without relationship. They said, "Lord, Lord," but never allowed themselves to truly know me. They fulfilled rituals, attended gatherings, learned the right words but kept their hearts distant. They used my name but did not live my love. They defended doctrines but did not allow the truth to transform them from within. These are the most exhausted. They carry a heavy faith, full of rules but empty of rest. They judge others easily but struggle to look at themselves. They know how to talk about God but do not know how to walk with Him. This saddens my heart, because I never desired followers who merely repeated words. I desired friends. The third response is those who trusted only in grace. They recognized their limitation. They admitted they could not do it alone. They handed me their failures, their fears, their sins, and also their dreams. They did not rely on works or religious appearance, but on what I did for them. They understood that salvation is a gift, not an achievement. That true faith produces transformation, not out of obligation, but out of love. They do not live trying to prove something to God. They live grateful. And those who live grateful lives love more, forgive more, and learn to obey with joy. Perhaps now your heart asks, which of these do I fall into? I do not ask this to accuse you, but to awaken you. Many begin by trusting in grace, but along the way slip into pride or empty religiosity. That is why it is necessary to return to the beginning again and again. Today this appears in many ways. Some build a perfect image on social media, but live empty inside. Some speak of faith, but treat their own family poorly. Some help others only when they are being seen. All of this reveals where the heart's trust truly lies. There is something simple you can practice today. Before going to sleep, ask yourself honestly, what am I trusting in to feel accepted? If the answer is not the love and grace I offer you, place that before me. I do not reject those who come with humility. Son, daughter, do not be afraid to recognize your need. The Father resists the proud, but welcomes the brokenhearted. Grace does not diminish you. It lifts you up. I am here, as I have been from the beginning, calling you not to religious performance, but to a living and true relationship. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I am still here, and I speak to you with the same gaze with which I looked upon the weary, the forgotten, and those who cried in silence while I walked among you. There is a question that will echo strongly on that day. It will not be asked with harshness, but with truth, and many will be surprised to hear it. After looking at the heart and at each person's response to the Son of God, I will ask, how did you treat my little ones? When I said this, I was not speaking only of children. I was speaking of the hungry, the sick, the imprisoned, the rejected, those no one noticed. I identified myself with them. I placed myself in their position. To love these people has always been to love me. While I lived among you, I touched lepers, sat with sinners, defended despised women, and heard the silent cries of the poor. I never turned away from the wounded, and I never will. Many say they love me, but close their hearts to those who suffer. This reveals a faith that never reached love. Perhaps you think this refers only to great gestures, large donations, big projects, major social actions. But I tell you tenderly, many times, a cup of water given with love weighs more than a crowd helped out of vanity. The Father sees the intention. He sees when you help to be seen and when you love in secret. In your days, my little ones are still around you. They are in the ignored co-worker, the difficult family member, the forgotten elderly, the emotionally wounded person, the one who thinks differently than you. They are also in those who suffer quietly, smiling on the outside and broken on the inside. How have you treated these people? There are those who say, I love God, but spread harsh words, contempt, and indifference. Son, daughter, loving the God you do not see while despising the neighbor standing before you is a path that does not lead to life. True love always manifests itself through actions. I know the world has grown cold. Everyone looks out for themselves. Everyone defends their own pain. But I call you to a higher path, a path where the heart does not harden, where compassion overcomes weariness, where mercy speaks louder than judgment. There is something simple you can practice today. Choose to look at someone more attentively. Listen without interrupting. Help without expecting anything in return. A message sent, a forgiveness released, time offered. Small gestures heal deep wounds. Son, daughter, when you love the little ones, you are loving me. When you ignore them, you are also making a choice. Every choice shapes your heart. I want to invite you now gently, in the comments, write something simple about how you have tried to love the people around you, even in the midst of difficulties. This may encourage other hearts who are also struggling. I am here. I see every gesture. I know every intention. And I never forget an act of love done in my name. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I remain here, speaking to you with the same voice with which I spoke to the crowds and also to the lonely hearts who approached in silence. What I share now is something many heard, but few allowed to sink deeply into their hearts. True love was never about appearance, never about spectacle, never about being seen, applauded, or recorded. When I taught about love, I spoke of something that is born within and manifests itself naturally, simply, and sincerely. The Father was never impressed by large, empty gestures. He has always looked at the intention. While I walked among you, I saw people who gave much but loved little. I saw others who possessed almost nothing, yet gave everything they had, including their hearts. Some prayed long prayers in public, but were harsh and cold at home. Others in silence cared, forgave, and served without anyone noticing. These were always closer to the kingdom than they imagined. I tell you the truth. It is possible to help without loving. It is possible to serve while seeking recognition. It is possible to do good and still be far from the Father's heart. That is why I taught that if someone gives everything but has no love, it profits nothing. Love is not a detail. It is the center. Today many live concerned with image, with what others think, with how they appear on social media, at work, in the family. Some practice good only when they are being watched. Some speak of justice, but treat those close to them poorly. All of this exhausts the soul because living by appearance requires constant effort. The love that comes from the Father is different. It does not need to be announced. It does not demand a stage. It simply flows. It is expressed in daily care, in patience with those who fail, in faithfulness when no one is watching. This love transforms more than long speeches ever could. Perhaps you helped someone and were not recognized. Perhaps you did good and were misunderstood. Perhaps you loved and did not receive the same in return. I saw all of this. None of it was lost. The Father sees in secret, and what is seen in secret carries eternal value. Examine your heart with sincerity, not with guilt. Ask yourself, why do I do what I do? Do I seek to be seen or do I seek to love? Do I seek approval or obedience? These answers reveal far more than outward actions. There is something simple you can practice now. Do an act of love that no one knows about. Help someone without telling anyone. Pray for someone without announcing it. Forgive without making it public. These silent acts heal your heart and align your life with the Father's heart. Son, daughter, true love does not shout. It remains. It sustains. It transforms. Do not worry about appearing good. Allow yourself to be transformed from within. When love is real, actions become natural. I am here teaching you again that the kingdom begins within and is manifested in everyday life. Do not be afraid to love in simple ways. This is how heaven is revealed on earth. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I keep speaking to you as one who stays close, watching your steps with patience. Nothing I say is born from haste. The kingdom is not built with anxious urgency, but with steadiness and truth. Now, I want to lead you to the third question. It is simple in words, but deep in meaning. Where is the fruit of your life? When I spoke about fruit, I was not talking about outward appearance, nor pretty speeches, nor well-crafted promises. I was talking about evidence, about natural result. A living tree connected to the root inevitably bears fruit, not through forced effort, but because it is healthy on the inside. Many say they believe, but live the same way as before. They say they trust, but remain trapped in fear, harshness, lies, and unforgiveness. Son, daughter, true faith does not remain barren. It transforms, sometimes slowly, sometimes through pain, but always in truth. As I walked among you, I watched people who talked a lot but did not live what they said. I watched others who hardly spoke, yet their lives shouted love, change, and faithfulness. Those last ones always brought me joy, not because they were perfect, but because they were willing to grow. Maybe you think fruit has to be something grand, visible, recognized. But I tell you tenderly, fruit begins on the inside. It begins when someone who used to react in anger learns to be still, when someone who lived chained to ego learns to listen, when someone who has been wounded decides not to wound back. That is fruit, and it has eternal value. In your days, many confuse faith with opinion. They defend ideas, fight over concepts, but do not allow truth to transform their character. But the Father is not pleased with empty talk. He rejoices when he sees a heart being shaped, even in silence. I know that bearing fruit requires remaining, and remaining requires consistency. It is not always easy. There are dry days, doubtful days, days when it seems like nothing is changing. I know those days. I also walked through the wilderness. I also wept. I also waited. Remaining is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision not to walk away. Ask yourself sincerely, does your life today reflect more love than before? More gentleness? More truth? Or only more religious information? This question is not condemnation, it is direction. Where there is no fruit, there is still time to tend to the root. Here is something simple you can practice now. Choose one area of your life where you know you need to change. Not everything at once, just one. Give it to the Father in daily prayer and watch how, little by little, something begins to sprout. True growth is quiet, but steady. Son to daughter, I do not expect instant perfection. I expect life. Where there is life, there is growth. Where there is humility, there is fruit. Where there is remaining in me, there is real transformation. I am here. I uphold you when you are weak. I care for you when you do not know how to keep going, and I keep calling you into a life that bears fruit for eternity. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I am still here, speaking to you as one who stays beside a young tree, watching its branches grow with care. What I share now is not pressure, but a sign of life. When I spoke of fruit, many thought only of outward actions. But today I want to take you deeper, down to what is born within and revealed in character. The fruit of the Spirit is not a mask you put on, it is the consequence of a transformed heart. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control are not produced by human strength, but by the life that flows when someone remains in me. While I was among you, I saw religious people who knew the law, yet were harsh, impatient, and proud. I also saw simple people without titles, who carried mercy, humility, and truth. Those last ones reflected the Father's Spirit, even without knowing how to explain everything with words. Maybe you think these fruits are out of reach. Maybe you look at your own life and see failures, setbacks, impatience, sadness, or lack of control. I tell you with love, fruit does not appear overnight. It grows little by little as the root remains firm. Today's world feeds the opposite of these fruits. It feeds hurry, comparison, aggression, selfishness, and fear. That is why those who choose to walk with me often feel different, out of place, even weary. But do not be mistaken. It is on this path that the heart finds rest. The joy of the Spirit does not depend on circumstances. Peace does not depend on the absence of problems. Patience is not born when everything goes well, but when you trust even when everything feels slow. Self-control is not repression. It is inner freedom. All of this is the Spirit's work in someone who surrenders. Ask yourself sincerely, how do you react when you are opposed? How do you respond when you are wounded? How do you speak when you are tired? These answers reveal more than long speeches. They show where the Spirit has room to work. I do not expect you to produce all the fruit at once, but I do expect you to be willing to let it grow. The Father does not tear out a tree because it has not fully fruited yet. He cares for it, prunes it, waters it, and waits. I do the same with you. Here is something simple you can practice today. Choose one of these fruits and pray for it throughout the week. If you lack peace, ask for peace. If you lack patience, ask for patience. Then watch for the small daily moments where you can practice it. The Spirit works in ordinary life, not only in extraordinary moments. Son, daughter. When your character begins to change, even slowly, heaven rejoices, because it shows that something new is being formed within you. Do not compare yourself to others. Every tree grows in its time. I am here. I do not give up on you in the process. I walk with you as the fruit ripens. Remain in me, and what seems small today will become a living testimony. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I am still here speaking to you as one who teaches while walking, not to place a burden on you but to reveal a purpose. Up to now, I have spoken of fruit that transforms your inner life. Now I want to show you that this fruit also reaches outward, touching other lives and reflecting the Father's kingdom in the world. When I was among you, I did not call people only to believe in me, but to walk with me, and then to carry that life forward. The kingdom was never meant to be kept only for yourself. It multiplies when it is shared. That is why I spoke of going, making disciples, proclaiming, living set apart for God, and being faithful, even in what seems small. Sharing the good news is not about winning debates or forcing truth. It is about sharing life. It is testifying through words and actions what I have done in you. Many think carrying the kingdom requires eloquence, deep knowledge, or a platform. But I chose fishermen, ordinary people, flawed people. What I look for is availability, not perfection. Discipleship is not controlling people. It is walking with them, teaching through example, being patient with someone else's growth, the way I am patient with yours. Many want quick results, numbers, recognition, but the kingdom grows quietly, like a seed planted in the soil that in the right time sprouts. Holiness, son, daughter, is not proud isolation or the appearance of purity. It is a heart set apart. It is choosing, every day, not to be shaped by what hardens the soul. It is saying no to what pulls you away from me, even when no one is watching. It is aligning your desires with the Father's. And faithfulness, faithfulness. It rarely gets applause, but it always receives heaven's approval. To be faithful in little things is to keep loving when you are not recognized, to keep serving when you are tired, to keep obeying when you do not understand everything. Many give up because they expect immediate, visible rewards. But I tell you, the Father sees every faithful step. In your days there are many distractions, many voices fighting for your heart, many paths that seem easier, but few produce eternal fruit. The kingdom does not grow through hurry, but through consistency, not through spectacle, but through daily surrender. Ask yourself sincerely, has your life impacted someone beyond you? Does someone draw closer to God because of the way you live, speak, and love? These questions are not a weight, they are direction. Where there is kingdom fruit, there is life multiplying. Here is something simple you can practice now. Pray for one specific person, just one name. Ask the Father for an opportunity to show love, truth, or care to that person. Do not force anything, just remain available. Many seeds are planted through simple conversations. Son, daughter, the kingdom does not need perfect people. It needs willing hearts. When you offer your life with faithfulness, even in the little things, the Father entrusts you with more. And what starts small becomes eternal. I am here, calling you not only to be transformed, but to be an instrument of transformation. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I am still here, speaking to you with the same calm with which I looked into the eyes of those who tried to hide behind words, titles, or appearances. What I share now is something many fear, but is actually freeing when understood in truth. Judgment does not only reveal what you did, it reveals who you became. While I lived among you, I saw people with correct behavior but hardened hearts. I saw others with messy stories and visible mistakes, yet with humble, repentant hearts, open to truth. The world evaluates by appearance. The Father has always looked within, and so do I. There are actions that look good, yet are born from pride, vanity, or the need to be accepted. There are other actions, simple, almost invisible, born from pure love. On the day of judgment, nothing will remain hidden, not because the Father delights in exposing, but because truth must be revealed for justice to be perfect. Many today live focused on looking right. They build an image, defend a reputation, protect a religious identity, but inside they carry envy, bitterness, hardness, fear, or falsehood. Son, daughter, living that way exhausts the soul. Keeping up appearances requires constant effort. Truth, even when it hurts, brings rest. Judgment will not be about how many times you failed, but about what you did with truth when it reached you. It will be about your willingness to change, to ask forgiveness, to leave behind paths that pulled you away from love. The Father does not expect perfection, He expects sincerity. In your days, many hide behind speeches, causes, or strong opinions. They judge others easily, but resist looking inward. Yet the one who avoids hard examination loses the chance to be healed. I never condemn the one who recognized their own need. I always welcome them. Ask yourself with courage and tenderness, who am I when no one is watching? What drives me when there is no reward? What do I do when I am confronted with truth? These answers shape your eternity. Here is something simple you can practice now. Set aside a moment of silence. No distractions. Ask the Father to reveal what needs to be transformed in you. Do not defend yourself. Do not justify yourself. Just listen. Where there is truth and humility, there is room for healing. Son, daughter, to live with a heart aligned is to live lightly, not because there are no flaws, but because there is no pretending. The Father does not reject the one who comes with an open heart. He transforms. I am here. I see beyond what others see, and I keep calling you into a real life, not a religious performance. If this path has been speaking to your heart, and you want to keep walking with me in the next episodes, subscribe so you can follow what I will continue to share with you. There is so much more I want to teach you, with love and truth. Son, daughter, peace be with you. I bring you to this moment not as one ending a conversation, but as one holding your hands and looking you in the eyes with truth and hope. Everything I have shared so far was not to weigh you down, nor to accuse you. It was to remind you of something essential. There is still time. While there is life, there is opportunity. While your heart beats, the door of grace remains open. I have never taken pleasure in anyone's condemnation. I have never rejoiced in loss, destruction, or separation. The Father's desire has always been that each one would repent, return, and live. That is why I came. That is why I walked among you. That is why I gave my own life. Many believe change is something far off, reserved for one day with fewer problems, one day with more time, one day with less fear. But I tell you with love, the kingdom begins today, not tomorrow, not when everything is resolved. Today is the day the heart can choose a new path. Maybe you see yourself like a tired, dry tree that tried to bear fruit and failed. Maybe you carry old guilt, wrong choices, words that cannot be taken back. I know all of that, and still I tell you, barren trees can bear fruit again when they remain in me, not by their own strength, but because life flows from the root. Remaining in me is not constant perfection. It is returning again and again. It is not giving up when you stumble. It is choosing truth even when it confronts you. It is allowing love to heal what time alone did not heal. Today, the world offers many shortcuts. Some bring temporary relief, but deepen the emptiness. Others promise freedom, but create inner captivity. I offer you a different way, a way of life, of real transformation, of eternal meaning. Here is something simple and profound you can practice now. Make a conscious decision, not a passing emotion, but a choice of the heart. Decide to remain. Decide to seek. Decide to align your life with me, even if it is step by step. Heaven moves when a heart decides. Son, daughter, do not let the past paralyze you, and do not let fear of the future delay you. The Father acts in the present. This is where grace works. This is where the seed can be planted. I am here. I have not walked away. I have not lost patience with you. I walk beside you while there is breath in you. Love remains the way. It always has. If this message touched your heart and could reach someone else who also needs hope, like and share it. That way more people can hear that there is still time, there is still grace, there is still life. I keep walking with you.